The committee would like for Mr. Shepard to introduce Mr. Cooper. Mr. Shepard was the roommate of Mr. Cooper from 1965 to 1969 at Shaw U. So without further ado, thank you so much for being here, and the mic is all yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Again, Henry Shepard from Statesville, North Carolina. This guy right here, he and I showed up at Tupper Hall at Shaw University. Back in the fall of 1965. Okay, I didn't know who this guy was, of course, and he looked like he was just out of the country. And, you know, he was wide-eyed and curious about everything. And I got to know him a little bit after that and found out that he was a good student. As a matter of fact, we had some difficulty because he was a better math student than I was. So that raised some issues right there. Our second year there, he learned how to party. He learned how to party, and this continued. And some of the other guys that we hung out with, they were having difficulties in their studies. We'd be looking for him, and we'd find him studying. So we learned something from him from that standpoint. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't say anything that's out of order here. But anyway, he met his wife, and she calmed him down a bit. Not totally. And again, from Coral Peak, North Carolina, if you know where that is, I don't know yet. But Sam Murray, I mentioned some other names, Sam Murray and Essie Roscoe. We were all together. We hung out, and on the weekends, it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. And I hear what you guys are saying about Clutch, and he's come a long ways from the time that I first met him. And I was going to mention some other things, but I won't do that. But I'm glad to see that he's come a long ways, and I appreciate having made that friendship way back then. And it's been about 50 years since that time, and I see he's done good for himself, and I appreciate the folks that I've just met and all the good things you've had to say about him. I hadn't heard those good things before, but I knew he was doing well here, and you were taking care of him. So I think you've done a good job with him, and he's done a good job for you. The parts about being dependable and focused, that kind of stuff, we all were not in focus back then, but time takes care of those things, I guess. And for other folks who are here to be recognized, I congratulate them, and thanks for inviting me to come up and do this.
Okay, let me feel some time. So you know Mr. Cooper, he likes that grand entrance.
I don't know, but it sounds to me like
So
that.
come on, Coach Cooper.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have some prepared remarks to say, but before I do even look at my paper, let me say this. It's hard to fool an old man. And when I saw Henry Shep coming in that door, I was scared to death when she gave him a microphone to talk about me. We go way, way back. And we did some wild and foolish things. But I hope you notice one of them that he said. all of our friends, there were many of us, Shep and I graduated from college. We left most of our friends there. So I start and leave that right there and look around this room. This looks like who's who of Halifax County. I used to say that everybody who is somebody is sitting in this room right here today. So I look around and I say good afternoon to Dr. Cunningham, my man. Good afternoon to Dr. Battle, our assistant superintendent. Good afternoon to Dr. Weichert. Good afternoon to my family members sitting over there. Yeah, I see you, Lydia and Kaylin and Kevin and Cameron and Gerald and Neat and Shep. And I see y'all. They told me not to call their names out. Good afternoon to my fellow board members right here. Mr. Tyus Few, Ms. Sue Evans, Ms. Dr. Joyce Lashley. Good afternoon to the central office team for the fantastic job that you guys did in putting this together. And of course, good afternoon to all of you Hall of Fame candidates. For you old timers sitting in here today, Jackie Gleason used to say, how sweet it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most long-awaited, one of the most thoughtful, one of the most talked about, and one of the most meaningful events that I've ever attended in Halifax County. And I've attended a lot of them. I came here in need over 50 years ago, and it never crossed my mind, Nellie, right, that this could happen. Thank you so much, Victor Myra, and all you others for the many conversations that we've had about putting something together like this. You know, conversations like, Coach, who's the best guy you ever coached? Who's the best female you ever coached? Who's the best team you ever played against? What about if your 1969 team could play against that 1981 team of yours? Who would win? What if Eastman with Delaney Rudd could play Southeast when I had Lil Joe and Timmy Mack? Who'd win that game? Thank you, Dr. Cunningham, for making that dream come true for so many of us. Congratulations, by the way, Dr. Cunningham, for your induction last year into your College Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, I also serve, if you didn't know, as the chairman of the Halifax County Board of Education. This is my 3rd year that I've done that. So before I talk, let me say thank you to Dr. Cunningham for allowing this event today to happen. You know, he always talks to me about mending the broken bridges and putting pride back into Halifax County and getting strong community support. He insisted that we have this event here today. Thank you, Dr. C. Y'all, this night is so special for all of us who are from Halifax County. Shep, y'all know the quote, "You've come a long way, baby." Wow, we've come a long way. You see, I walked into N. Borden in that gym back in 1969. And I'm looking right at Fred Lee Wright, one of the first people that I met when I walked in there 50 years ago. Y'all listen to me. They said, I know it all. We didn't have any bleachers there at the gym. We had wooden backboards in the gym. We had to put 400 chairs in the gym so that we could have a ball game. We had to get people out of the 6th period class to put up the chairs. How do I know? Because I'd take my 6th period class to make sure. I was the coach. We changed our clothes, y'all, in the public restrooms. Better lock your wallet up in the coach's office or your stuff will be gone before the game's over. Yet, as Dr. Cunningham told you, my inborn Wildcats were 25-8. Conference champs, tournament champs, district champs, and I, in my first year, Shep, was coach of the year in my first year ever as a coach. You know, why am I saying this to you all? The next year, we integrated, went to Enfield High School, Joe. And guess what? Y'all, they had bleachers in the gym, real bleachers. But listen to this. They were wooden bleachers that they took off the football field and brought them in the gym and assembled them in the gym. And if you sat down and slid on the bleachers, you know where the splendor was get. We have, y'all, come a long way, baby. Used to go to Eastman, Stella, Delaney. They didn't have locker rooms either. We had to go out the side door, y'all, to change. When you came back after halftime, you didn't have no seat because they would give anybody a ticket that had $1, and you had to sit wherever you could. We have come a long way. Go to Northwest, and they didn't have a gym. We had to play at Aurelian Springs. We have come. Any of y'all remember sitting in here, the rocks thrown at us when we went down to Gumberry? And the lights getting turned out in the gym in the fourth quarter, you look up and everybody done gone down to one end, and you're wondering what in the world is going on? I do remember that. Anybody remember we went down to Creasy and somebody actually shot the rear window out with a shotgun? I do. I was on the bus. Now, why am I telling you all this? You see, we have come a long, long way. You see, there were skeptics back then, y'all, who didn't think that we deserved any better. They didn't think you were good enough to have anything better. That's why 50 years later, that's why all of you're here today. And I'm so glad. I'm glad that it's February. It's Black History Month, you know? But today, let's call it Halifax County Month. Yes, today, y'all, let's celebrate today, Halifax County. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream, y'all. I did too. You know, he dreamed about the little white girls and the little white boys hand in hand. You remember all that? You know, he told me I've been to the top of the mountaintop, now seeing the glory. Well, let me tell you something. I had a dream too. I dreamed that one day, that this day would come. I dreamed, Delaney, that you could go to Wake Forest University, that you could play for the Utah Jazz. Jesse Joe, I dreamed that you could go to East Carolina. I dreamed that they'd let you play quarterback and not try to turn you into a defensive back. I dreamed that. Paula, where are you? Paula, I know you somewhere. I dreamed, Paula, that you could go to NC State. I dreamed that you could play for Lewisburg Junior College and win a national junior college championship. I dreamed that, Paula. I dreamed that the ACC and the Big East coaches, Greg, would come here to see our players and that we didn't have to load them up in cars and carry them to them. I dreamed that one day we could have a black superintendent, Dr. Cunningham. I dreamed, Mr. Field, Ms. Lashley, Ms. Evans, that we could have a predominantly black school board. We come a long way, baby. When y'all hold on to your seat, yes, sir. Honorees, you're here tonight, not because of what somebody gave you, okay? You're here today because of what you did. Each one of you sitting here today, you are Hall of Famers. Whether you're one of the top 10 or not, makes no difference. You are special. You've already toured the course. You've already paid your dues. And as I paraphrase Philippians chapter 2, verse 9, God has already exalted you and gave you the name that's above any other player. A Hall of Famer is what you are. Tonight, y'all, we give honor and praise to where honor is due. That, by the way, is Romans chapter 13, verse 7. Y'all, you spend hours in the weight room, miles running around that gym. And if you play for me, 32 minutes around that gym every day and 10 minutes of exercise, and then we'll start practice. You run around the football field, the baseball field. You went home to study because you had to keep up with them people who didn't even play nothing. You know what? You heard your name called when you did good. And you know that you were called names when you didn't. Y'all know those names they call you when you didn't do well. Well, I tell you what, for some of you sitting in here right now, 50 years later, finally somebody is saying to you, Thanks. Well done, my good and faithful servant. When I came here as a boy, neat, back in 1969, y'all, I was tall, I was skinny, I could jump out the gym, I could shoot. Now I got to hold this to keep from falling down because my back hurts. I never thought 50 years ago, Nellie Ann, that we'd be honoring Bo Wright. Now I'm going to slow down and get real teary-eyed a minute. Honorees, let me say this to you. You all are special. But just like Bo, there are so many of them that didn't even get a chance to partake today. Anybody remember Gloria Silver? We call her Bird. I do. Anybody remember Ronald Pittman, number 32? I do. Anybody remember Willie Whitaker? Call him Tank. Anybody remember Jeffrey Lyons? Anybody remember Babe Austin from the Littleton Blue Jays? Anybody remember Big Sheila Epps from the Eastman Kodiaks? Or what about McDonald Silver? Anybody remember George Foots Cofield? Or what about Tommy Pittman? We call him Wine. What about Mr. Nathan Jenkins, who used to coach? What about Doc Brown, county commissioner, principal, basketball coach at Weldon and Eastman? What about Clement Williamson, my man? Came to Raleigh and got me and bought me here. What about Tom Wesley, used to coach over there at Scotland Neck? What about Clarence Vines? I still see him carrying that trophy out. I still see 64-63 if they beat us in the district championship. What about Andre Shields? Anybody remember him from Southeast? Or my next door neighbor, my manager, Clifton Sears? Y'all, many, many others. And the beat goes on and on. They've gone by, but we got to remember them. Thanks. Our superintendent has promised me this event is going to go on and on forever. We're here tonight to honor you, to say thanks for the memories, to show your children, to show your friends, to your family that you could play, that you did play, and that you're appreciated. Jesse Joe, you've been honored right here in front of your peers so they can hear me tell you that you were one of the best athletes that I ever saw in my life. They can hear me say that you scored 6 touchdowns one night. And Robert Knight, you're here so that they could say that I would say that you could literally jump out of the gym. Dr. Dream, he did have a dream. We're athletes. For me, you made my dream come true. Halifax County, y'all have had a tradition. The athletes here have always been among the best ever. It took lots of work, y'all, to get you here. Many of them could have played anywhere. Zyrone Simmons, number 44 with the Eastman Kodiaks, Zyrone could literally fly. He was good as anybody, but to no avail. That's why this event is special. See, I used to sit in my office, I wrote colleges. Mr. Chambers sitting there, wrote colleges. Clem, Doc Brown, Bobby Sledge, the other coaches. We even took you all to schools to have tryouts. We had to beg them just to give you a chance. Well, let me tell you something. Tonight, Wanda, sitting right there in front of me, Joseph, sitting in front of me, you all represent the efforts of all of us. Yes, Greg, Cornell took you. Yes, Joseph, Cornell took you. Paula, yes, NC State took you. Delaney, Wake Forest took a chance. And Steve Hunter, I saw you come in. Yes, UNC Greensboro took you. That's why we have a Hall of Fame. You represent all the sweat, the blood, and tears that was put in to get you where you are. When Ms. Dickens asked me the other week, said, Mr. Cooper, we need a speaker. Do you know who we can get one? I said, wow. Richard Pryor said I said that to myself. I said, wow, well, you could get Cedric Jones. You know, he went to Weldon High School, played with the New England Patriots. Well, I guess y'all heard of him. Then I said, well, you could get Barack Obama. I think y'all may have heard of him. Then I said you could get Dr. Bill Colby. He used to be the athletic director at UNC Chapel Hill. He was instrumental in signing Spencer Brown to go there. But finally I said to her, ma'am, I don't want to sound conceited, but I'd love to do it myself. Then I told her this, because I don't think there's nobody else alive who can possibly stand up here and talk to you all like I'm talking to you, because I know you and I love you and I care for you. And you couldn't find anyone else. That's why, Lynette, I'll never forget how good you are as a little point guard with the Eastman Kodiaks. Little Joe, I hope you in here. See you coming there as a little ninth grader, starting on my varsity team at Enfield. Then going down there, starting at Southeast, All East, playing for Jake Ford at Fayetteville State. Families, thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing the tears. This Hall of Fame is deserved and reserved only for the best. You know what? Listen, when I say Hall of Fame, these are pro Hall of Famers. Wilt Chamberlain, Gale Sayers, Jim Brown, Arthur Ashe, Ann Donovan, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Oscar Big O. Robinson, and Earl the Pearl Monroe, and Dr. J. Now guess what? Now I hope we'll be able to say in Halifax County, Greg Vaughn, or Carl Battle, or Constance Hunter, giving honor to where honor is due. Again, don't know where it comes from, Romans chapter 13, verse 7. Well, athletes, you're due, ready to wind down. Thanks for the rebound. Thanks for the fast breaks. Thanks for the touchdown runs and the long home runs, Bird Hunter. And on top of everything, y'all, thanks for the memories. Thanks, Snake Shields from Scotland Neck, for your ferocious manner, like gentleman-like demeanor off the court, and one of the best referees in the state. Thank you back there, Robert Sykes. I'm looking at you. For staying at Enfield High School, Robert, when we integrated and all of the other top white athletes left, but Robert Sykes stayed. My number 10. I love you, Robert, and it was a pleasure coaching you. Man, Willie Hardy, thank you, Robert, thank you. Willie Hardy, somewhere we honoring you, not because you are, but by the man you grew up to be. Coaching you, Willie Hardy, as I look back, you were a terror on the football field at Central. I honor you for my friendship with your parents, with your daddy, Willie, your mama, Debbie, who used to be the board chair. Bay McDaniel, I look back here. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you. You played it all. You got it, Big Mac. Big Mac was 6'5". He played with Northwest. And you were 5'10". And y'all played at a standstill. Thanks, McCarroll. Big Mac, you're here. I'm proud of you. Big Mac, y'all played with Northwest and then went to Norfolk State. Started. Carl Battle, thank you, man. A beast. Walter Purnell, with a fastball so fast you couldn't see it. Not let's hit it, you couldn't even see it. Thank you, Ricky Hooks, for all your skills that you displayed. Y'all the best of the best. Joey Boone from Enfield to Cornell, 34 points against Eastman. My best geometry student that I ever taught. And then over there, Wanda Superwoman Boone, bench pressing 130 pounds. That's right, squatting almost 500. Big Bay McDaniel. We're honoring 2-time All-East Andrew Hunter. Y'all, the tears are trying to come, y'all. Back ears, too. I can't stop them, Mr. Turnage, Mr. Chambers, Richard Hewlin, Victor. That's why we're here, to honor the best. My family is here, too. Yeah, they're sitting over there. They don't know how much I love them. I've given them hell, y'all, for 50 years. Because when you're the coach, you're not home. My son told me one day, Daddy, you're everybody's daddy. You don't leave the team. That's why you're here. We appreciate each other. You know what? My mama begged me after that night when Creasy threw them rocks at us and shot the back of the bus light windows out. My mom begged me to leave and come home. No, sir. Halifax County was, Halifax County is, and Halifax County will always be, Gus, the place for me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to enshrine you, but I ask you to come back next year and do some more. If y'all look out on the table out front, there's over 100 pictures out there. I keep everything from the past. Those pictures, you can take them if you want to. Athletes, as I thank Regina and the team for putting that together, athletes, take them if you desire. And remember an old quote I used to say, you were better because you want to be. Athletes, as I sit down, Father Time and our Father in heaven gives us special gifts. Gifts that can only be used to glorify him. As a coach, Mr. Chambers, myself, and all the others, we tried as coaches to help you utilize those gifts that God gave you. We prayed with you, we prayed for you, and after the games, again. We gave you nurturing, and we gave you love. We ran a race, y'all, but that race doesn't stop here tonight with this Hall of Fame. My Sunday school lesson tomorrow comes from the book of Philippians, chapter 3. It's on keep your eyes on the prize. Now, my friends, I say everybody in here, eternal life should be the next goal for you. I encourage you athletes to use that same tenacity and passion, athletes, that you used to get here to this Hall of Fame. I challenge you now to use that to get into the kingdom. I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm trying to teach to you, okay? But right now, as I get ready to sit down, I love you, I thank you, and I feel just a little bit of sweet Georgia Brown. Thank you all so much.